Okay, we're recording.
So how many sushi rolls did you just have?
That was 6.
I had just shy of 6. I didn't finish my 6.
That's right. I should have called you out on that.
I couldn't do it. I don't know how you can just consume like that.
Before I had a chance to say you're gonna finish that, the waiter was, "Are you done?" "Yep." "Okay," and it was gone.
He just took it. So you were going to say you're going to finish it. That's what you were going to say.
Yeah. I was gonna make you finish it. I think the trick to eating a lot of food is stretching your stomach beforehand with water.
Have you ever seen me have you seen my stomach? Like, it's stretched. I feel like my stomach is stretched.
It may be, but it's proof's in the pudding. You weren't able to finish
I wasn't.
6 rolls.
6 rolls you ate, and then that wasn't the record. You said you had 10 when
10 rolls from the seminar a few weeks ago. I don't know how I did it. Now, actually, I do. It's a whole day of training, drinking a lot of water, stretching your stomach out. Not much food. I think I might have had a few wings for lunch that day, and then we crushed it.
I've always been really bad at food challenges, but I've always wanted to fancy myself as a competitive eater. Like, I tried to eat the Denny's Beer Barrel Pub Burger. You ever see those?
No, but that sounds disgusting.
There's it's a 5-pound burger. So it's a 5-pound burger. It's 5 pounds of beef, and then like 2 whole tomatoes, 2 whole onions, like 2 loaves of bread. It's like 10 pounds, 15 pounds of food. It's insane.
That is a lot.
I tried to do the 1-pound burger, and the Denny's Beer Barrel Pub.
So not Denny's.
No,
Denny's.
It's not a gigantic moons over my hammy.
Okay. Now I have a better thought in my head of not Denny's, the Denny's.
Not the Denny's. It's a Denny's.
Okay.
A Denny's Beer Barrel Pub, and I'm not doing a commercial for them, but their food is really good. But I just can't eat that much food.
Yeah.
Like a 5 pounds of meat or a 1-pound burger. It's the 1-pound burger, but you still have to eat everything else if you want to do the challenge.
See, that would probably make me sick. I think the reason that I can eat so much sushi is because it's just fish and rice. Like,
right.
Who can't do that, you know?
Although I tried to do a pie eating contest for the radio, and I vomited outside of Walmart. I did an egg eating contest, and I vomited in the studio.
That was disgusting.
That was awful.
Yes, it was hilariously disgusting.
Have you ever had raw eggs?
Never.
Because you're a trainer, you've done it. So I didn't know if you ever went into that.
Nope, I have never done raw eggs.
That's like meathead pro wrestler lifter in the 80s.
Let's get some protein in, and this is how we're going to do it.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, I've never done that.
The only raw I'll eat is sushi.
Sushi's the spicy tuna is the best. At least that's my opinion. And then followed closely by California rolls, which I don't think have any sushi. I think it's just it's crab in there, but it's cooked.
Yeah, cooked, and then you've got the veggies and stuff.
Yeah.
Big news, we were called out on Facebook this week. I don't know if you knew that.
No, what happened?
We were called out by our thumbs down every week.
So he had a complaint?
He had a complaint. And his complaint was, not enough UFC news. UFC 200's coming, and you're not telling me anything. Well, like man.
Sounds like we have a fan.
He watches it more than anyone else that I know that actually likes me. And so he was given a gift this week with huge UFC news that popped out of nowhere. Conor McGregor, that was crazy.
Yeah, but all of that was for nothing because now he's unretired.
You seemed annoyed by all the press that was getting the day it dropped.
It's who cares? Like, I get it. He's a big name fighter and everything.
But if he had retired, that would have been pretty huge.
Everyone knew he wasn't going to retire. It was a little hissy fit that he had. He didn't want to do the promotion for the fight. He wanted to train. And I think one of his quotes was, "I'm not being paid to promote. I'm being paid to fight. So I need to be paid to promote if I'm going to." And I get that. But
see, the way he framed it in his statement, I thought, and I almost started to feel some sympathy for him, where he doesn't feel like he's being able to train properly. He said he feels like he's being spread too thin. At least that's how I read it.
I get that. I totally get it. Yeah, and the way like he made it out to seem like it was like a big world tour, when I think Dana White said it was like Stockton, like I don't know, Las Vegas and New York or something like that, and that was it. So I don't know. It's tough. Here's the thing: when you sign the agreement to fight, there's more than just goes into the fight that you're agreeing to. So when he signed the agreement to fight at UFC 200, fighting Nate Diaz. He shouldn't. He knew that all that was going to go along with it. You can't just decide, no, I'm not going to do that. You can decide later on that in the next fight, I'm choosing to, in our contract, we're not going to do that. We're going to say, I do not want to do a press tour. That's different, but you can't just out of nowhere just decide you're not going to do it.
And all of a sudden, he's crying that the UFC is this big, huge machine. And I'm sure there are other fighters in the UFC that just want to smack him for it because he's getting a sweetheart deal.
Yes.
Where a lot of people, they don't see even a quarter of the money that he sees per fight.
Yep. No, I think you're right. We'll see how it plays out.
So now what? Because they've officially pulled it from the 200 card.
Yeah, that's done.
So what's the main event now?
Yeah, they were talking about GSP coming back.
I'm in.
How awesome. GSP and Khabib. Nurmagomedov. I got that right. That's a hard one to say.
I wouldn't even have attempted that.
Yeah, how about it? I had to say it about 30,000 times.
Nurmagomedov?
Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov.
Yeah. Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov. It sounds like Bernie Madoff's cousin, Nurmag.
Yes, that's exactly who it is. No, he just fought, and he fought an up-and-comer. Rear naked choked him last weekend, I think it was. And that was at a catch rate of 160. So the idea would be that this would be at 170, I think, because GSP has always been 170.
I'm in. I've always liked GSP. I feel like it's been a long time since I've been watching him, so I don't know how good he'll be. Like he's getting older.
Yeah, it's tough. Like when you see a fighter like Anderson, where he seemingly did the impossible. Like you did not, what he did, it was like, oh, that was out of a movie. You know, that was scripted. He didn't do that.
He would just duck and jive and juke, and nobody could touch him. It was crazy.
Yep. And then he comes back and he barely beats Nick Diaz.
I don't like watching these guys turn human in front of me. Like
I know.
I don't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy watching BJ Penn become human. I didn't enjoy Anderson Silva become human, and I don't think I want to see GSP become human.
Yeah, it's tough. I've actually thought, and I'd like to see this actually happen. I think there should be a master's class in the UFC. Where, we got a lot of guys that are over 30, moving into their 40s. I think Anderson's 38 or 39.
And people would pay for those fights just on name recognition
Exactly.
alone.
Dan Henderson, Anderson Silva 2. Vitor, Anderson Silva. Like those.
TRT Tour.
TRT Tour. Like, you get them, like, maybe after 35, you could say that you're in the master's class. You are not fighting the 22-year-old studs anymore because you're going to get mauled.
You're going to get mauled. And it doesn't even mean that they are better than you were. They're just better than you are now. And it skews the way you look at it, and it's not.
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day of if I fought myself and I fought a 23-year-old Ryan, which at the time, I wasn't the rank I am in jiu-jitsu, but I had a lot of grappling under my belt. I was stronger. I was faster. I was lighter. That's an attribute that I might have now over my younger self. But I don't know if I could beat myself at 23 now.
But you know so much more. I know I
could.
It's tough. I know I could.
There you go. So yeah.
Because I was always kind of in not great shape.
Sure.
And now I'm in a little better shape, but I know
a lot more.
I know a little more. Yeah.
23. I was in my competitive prime. I was fighting at least twice a year, doing gatherings and training 7 days a week, and I was teaching then as well. But for the majority of my martial arts time during the week, it was all training.
We've talked about Dog Brothers. Did you fight? Did you kickbox? Did you do MMA? Did you do anything like that?
No. Coming up, one of my great friends, Mike Fusco. It was him and I, just to kind of give you a quick background on State College Martial Arts. It actually started at the State College Martial Arts Academy. I was into it before the State College Martial Arts Academy even existed. Training with an instructor, Bill Gephardt, who passed away from cancer in, I want to say 2002. But anyways, he was our head instructor and everything. And when he passed, it was me and my friend Mike. And Mike was already competitive in MMA. And I would help him get ready for his fights, and I'd corner him and everything. And we did grappling and jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and boxing together and everything. But between the two of us, what we didn't do was no one was doing stick fighting. And that was a big part of my instructor, Bill Gephardt's training. He loved stick fighting and everything. So I kind of thought that would be a respectful way to take my competitive training is, you know what? Mike's doing MMA right now. He was doing kickboxing as well. And he had no interest in doing stick fighting. I'm going to go for it. So that's what I decided. I want to do stick fighting. And I also liked how, so in boxing, let's say you're just doing punches, which by the way, I really respect boxing. I think it's one of the toughest kinds of hand-to-hand combat because you're just limited to your hands.
It's all footwork and hands.
That's right. So what would someone really like to be able to do in a boxing match? Kick, So now we're into kickboxing. So let's do punches and kicks. Well, it'd be really cool to be able to elbow a knee, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So now that's Muay Thai. Well, what if you're going up against someone that's really good at Muay Thai? Well, let's add some grappling in. Can I take him to the ground and, pound him out there? And then you get mixed martial arts. And then kind of the last level of that is, what if you have a weapon?
What if you have a stick?
What if you have something that you can not only, they might be a better striker. They might be better on the ground. But if you're better with a stick, you can completely rule all that out and beat them. And I'm like, man, that's awesome.
But it's got to limit you just based on the limited amount of information and knowledge I have on the clinch. Like the clinch, for instance, you're using both of your limbs. What if you're holding a stick? There's no way to really
No, you
clinch.
can.
Can you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, no, there's a ton of material there. Ton of great stuff. Well, I'll stop talking about myself so much in a minute. But my first fight that I had, it was at a tournament in Maryland. It was the Maryland, in fact, the trophy's right there. Talk a little bit.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at the giant trophy behind me.
That's it. So
it's
that was
the Stanley Cup.
So that was April 3rd, 2005. That was my first tournament. No, it's funny. So there was 1,000% full rules. No rules, stick fighting, and they were giving those out. And then they also had 5-year-old forms competition going on at the same time, right. And they would get the same thing.
Oh, that's great.
It was awesome. So I thought that was funny, and I think you got a medallion too with it. But anyways, at that one, I knocked him out with clinch knees. I went in. I went under my stick, got into clinch, threw a few knees. I think one to the midsection. He crumpled. One to the head. And he crumpled, and I went to take his back and choke him, and the person who was the ref just pulled me off, and that was my first win. So that was from clinch. So absolutely,
you didn't even need the stick.
No, well, I did for the first part of the fight. It was all stick.
All stick.
And then I realized I had the opening, and I went in under the roof block, clinch, knees, done.
Got it. That's good. Well, we're talking about fights and amateur fights and things like that. We have fights coming up this weekend in this school. I think that's awesome.
Not here.
Well, not here, but to me, it's in this school because it's two people that we train with.
Yes.
It's two people that I train with on a regular basis. And it's so cool for me to be a part of their training and to a small part, but it's still, it's awesome to watch them work and progress. And man, they are working like crazy.
Yeah, Pete Busby and Elise Pone. Elise is 1-0 right now. This will be Pete's debut. But man, both of them are working hard. Great training partners, no ego, which you experience a lot with fighters. You get the fighters with the big heads that think that they're all of that, and you'll also get people who, they literally pick their training partners. Like, I don't want to train with you because I don't think you're good enough. Like, there's fighters that say that, but neither of them are like that. They train with everybody.
It's funny. They're training for a fight, and both of them will stop in the middle of their training and help me and be like, okay, so maybe try this, maybe try that.
Sure.
Work on this, and they're very complimentary. It's funny. We're always talking about how there are, these kind of people and this kind of person, and I have yet to experience it. I've been very fortunate that I haven't met an ego or a meathead or someone that's like,
sure.
You know what, I'm gonna put you in your place.
Yeah, and I've said it in this on the podcast before. They don't last around here. They realize that they can't be the dominant personality that they want and try to put themselves above everybody. They can't do that here. So they either say screw this, I'm out, or we just say bye bye. We don't think this is a good fit. So
doesn't
you're not
work.
going to see that. No.
So I'm afraid to say anything else about Elise and Pete because I don't want to tip the hat or let anybody know.
Sure,
anything.
yeah. We don't want to go into the strategies of how they're going to beat their opponents.
But I can say you're cornering them, right? I can say
cornering
that.
them, yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I have questions about cornering.
Yeah.
Because I've never cornered.
Sure.
And I've never really paid attention to the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your responsibility when you go in there? Like everything, because you're kind of like the coach, you're kind of like the head coach, but you're not play calling really.
Yeah. No. So the role of a cornerman starts way before the fight. And as you get into professional MMA and whatnot, they'll be kind of split up the roles. Like you'll have the manager that helps book the fights and negotiate the money and whatnot, and then you have the coach, the head coach, that's making sure that you're getting your training and everything. Again, for MMA, you're getting the best jiu-jitsu instruction you can, and then you'll have your people that help strategize.
Breaking film down and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You're doing all of that.
Pretty much at the amateur level, there's no money. So you can't pay a whole bunch of people to do all those things for you. And it usually falls upon the head coach. So in my case, now we do have other assistant instructors and whatnot that do help do fight research and breakdowns, and then we have all the teammates, everybody that helps hold pads and spar and drill. That's all important too. But
day of fight, you'll get there, you're going to handle talking to them about stuff, maybe running through pad rounds. I don't know if you do that or not.
Yeah, you do a warm-up. So first off, you get there, and amateurs is day of weigh-ins, where professional you can weigh in the day before. So amateurs, day of weigh-ins, they get there, they fill out their paperwork, they weigh in, and then they get their they have their physical, and then it's hurry up and wait, and we sit around and wait. What I like to do is 2, maybe 3 fights before they go on is when I really start kind of warming them up. But even before that, we got to wrap their hands. We got to make sure that's good.
And that takes about 45 minutes.
It does. You got to wait to get your gloves. I think they give you your gloves like 2 or 3 fights out. So if you're 5 fights from fighting, they don't even give you the gloves that you're fighting at.
You can bring your own gloves though, right?
No, you don't fight with them because they have to be sanctioned gloves. So they actually have their own gloves that they provide to you as a fighter, and you fight with those. And often, always with amateur fighting, they usually have 5 or 6 pairs. So if there's 15 fights on the card, and you're like number 10, you're using a pair of gloves that someone was just fighting in, which is kind of gross.
Yeah, it really
kind
is.
of a bit gross. And they try to clean them and whatnot. So anyways,
I try to clean mine too, and it smells not great.
Yeah, I've got some ways to fix that, but anyways, so before you get your gloves, they have to put on their gloves, and we warm them up. And then you get the gloves you're fighting with, and we put those on. They don't like for you to hit pads with them because it breaks down the glove, and so we try to respect that. We don't hit the pads, and we'll start doing more like technique and strategy, like 2 fights out, and then 1 fight out. We're in the back, and it's just a countdown. Okay, you're 2 fights away. You're 1 fight away.
I'm getting stressed just thinking about it.
I'll tell you what. Every time one of our fighters fights, I feel like I'm fighting. Emotionally, physically, like I start warming myself up.
Yeah, you start getting
cracking my neck and whatnot, and jumping up and down. I'm like, hold on, I'm not fighting. So then boom, 1 fight out, and okay, we're on deck. And usually what I'll do is I'll have them watch like the last round maybe, and the decision.
I feel like the anxiety right before a fight would wind me. Like I'd get exhausted from that.
Oh yeah. Like I'm literally getting parched talking about it.
Yeah, because it gets pretty crazy. So then you go to the ring and you've said everything there is to say. They start, and then in between rounds you just give little advice or whatever. But you're screaming during the rounds as well.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, so a great analogy that I have. One of my teachers from high school, a music teacher, John Kowalczyk. I'll give him props on this. He said, a band is good when the conductor doesn't have to do anything. And it's like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. So like you see a conductor doing this and going like that, and oh my God, God, they need,
Yeah.
And it's like
Getting people
he's
back up the
flipping out.
tempo.
Yeah, and come on, doing all that crap. Like the band he's really struggling to keep the band together. So when you see, it's the same thing. When you see a coach that's out there and it's like, keep your hands up, do this, do that. Oh my God, get out of the corner. All of this stuff that we can try to fix beforehand, and they're doing it during the fight. That's that conductor that's like, oh my God. But you see a conductor that's just, kind of snapping his fingers, his or her fingers. I guess it's not an it. But,
Yeah.
Okay. So snapping
It's an it.
his or her fingers, and the band's just cruising. It's
That's what you
oh,
want.
That's a good band. That's a good conductor.
Well, you don't want in a fight, although I can see how, because I do it in sparring, so I can see in a fight how you would just forget the most common thing, like keep your hands up. All of a sudden,
well, that's why you got to make it automatic. We call it automatic defense. You got to be able to have the things that you don't even think about because you drill them so much beforehand, and that's why we're so strict about it. Now, hands still sometimes drop. Sometimes you are going for a power punch and you don't rotate. So those things happen, but the majority of it should be installed. And I think of it as, when I'm in the corner, I have a controller and we're playing a video game. And I tell you where to go and what to do.
And you do it.
And you do it.
The only problem is, have you ever had them they can't hear you? Even if they're beside you, they can't hear you.
No.
I feel like I would just not hear you.
Yeah, no. I make sure that they can hear me during fight practice and rounds and whatnot.
Get it.
You've seen the 8 p.m. Monday, Wednesday classes. We have the music blasting.
Loud.
There's, 60 people hitting pads. And I can be, I make sure of this. I know right where I need to be and the volume my voice needs to be in order to get them to hear me. And if they can't hear me, it's not their fault. It's mine. I need to speak up. So I'm really adamant about that. But if I find someone that just doesn't listen to me during class and they're not coachable, they're not fighting anytime soon.
Are you ever worried about counter programming where you'll yell something about leg kicks or change your lead, and then the other person hears you too and goes, well, now I know what to worry about.
Absolutely. No, that definitely happens. But for the most part, you ask any fighter, what did you hear during your fight? I heard my coach. What about theirs? Not really. I've actually had it where one of our fighters is doing really well, and I actually start counter coaching them because I know they're going to win. I start encouraging the other fighter, whatever their name is. Sarah, you're doing awesome. Keep it up. Keep moving. You're doing great. God, and I'll counter coach our own people because I know they're going to win. And I think that's a nice thing to do.
I feel like
instead of rip off her head or
I want that. I feel like if I'm fighting someone and their coach starts encouraging me, then I feel like that would go in my head even more. I'd be like, I'm dead.
I think that does happen.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm getting pity coached.
Yep, and that's what it is. That probably does happen, but I've done it respectfully in the past. I've never really kind of made it obvious.
So as a coach, and without giving anything away, I can ask this. I feel.
Yeah.
Do we feel confident about Elise and Pete?
So the way that I book fights, if you're 0-0, we'll fight anybody else who's 0-0. I should have my fighter ready to fight if it's their debut. Doesn't matter who they're fighting. If it's at the same weight, if it's at the same record, granted, if they don't have any experience in other arts, or I'm 0-0 kickboxing, but I'm 20-7 in boxing. That's not your first fight.
That's not your first fight.
So if you're 0-0, and we have an 0-0 fighter, if we're ready to fight, we'll fight you. Simple as that. So Pete's fighting another fighter that's 0-0. I think that's fair.
That's all.
We should be ready,
But that's got to be hard because you don't know what you're getting. Neither do they.
No, yeah, exactly.
And that's why I'm not saying anything about Pete.
Yeah.
I don't even like saying his first name.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that. But I don't know. I want to say, Elise is 1-0, and I want to say this girl, she has one fight. I don't know if she's 0-1 or 1-0. I think she lost her last fight. She might be 1-1. So after the debut, or we will sometimes if we have a fighter that's 0-0, we'll fight someone that has one fight. I rarely go 2 fights or over for someone who has less than 5 fights. So if you have 3 fights, we'll fight someone who has 4 fights or 5 fights. So,
and if I fight this weekend, how long till you let me fight again? 2 months?
The cards we've been fighting on in Hamburg are I want to say every 3 months, but there's other events around.
Because Hamburg's a bit of a drive. I'm sure there are fights in Altoona and there are fights all over the
Nope,
place.
not really.
No?
Nope. Pittsburgh sometimes, but not for kickboxing. For MMA, we haven't had a local card in a long time, but they have them in Altoona, so we'll do those. For boxing, we go to Pittsburgh a lot and Erie because that's kind of our, district or whatever you want to call it.
That's good. So I'm excited. These are my first Hamburg fights, and I'm going to them tomorrow, and I'll be.
It's fun. It's really fun to watch amateur fighting because you get to see some really talented people. Tickets are cheap, and you get to immerse yourself in that kickboxing culture as well.
Does it get very school versus school there? Is it like the Karate Kid, where the Cobra Kais are going to be like, "Come on, we're Cobra Kais"?
Everybody's really respectful. I often go up to the other coach if I know the coach that we're fighting. I'll go up and say hi and everything. Like for example, we fought a few fighters from the same gym. I'll leave the names out for right now. Every single time I'll go up and I'll shake the coach's hand and say, how you doing? How's your guy doing? You need anything? That's the other thing. I've been on the receiving end of not being prepared, like when I was younger, not being prepared, and also finding another coach who's not prepared and helping them. So like I've provided like gauze and tape and everything to our opponent's corner before because they didn't bring it.
Because if someone gets cut, then they need.
Well, that's for wrapping hands. So you wrap the hands with the gauze and the tape and everything. But I've been on the receiving end of that as well, where and I might have said this in another podcast, but we had one fighter. We got to the ring, and headgear, got it. Mouthpiece, he smiles, and then the ref goes cup, and he smacks him in the nuts, and he goes like this, and he didn't have a cup on. And we're about to go in the ring. He's like, got to get a cup on. And he's like, I don't have a cup. And I'm like, I think I was like 20, maybe 21.
Oh my.
And then my fighter's like, I don't have a cup. And I'm like, well, I didn't bring my cup. So we had to go borrow somebody else's cup.
Ooh, you thought using someone else's gloves before a fight was gross.
Yeah. Run all the way back to the locker room. We need a cup. I'm sorry. I think I said I offered to buy another one. The kid was cool about it. I've also when I was younger.
Were you just running like, I need a cup? I need a cup?
The fight. He was ready to go in the ring. He was ready to fight. So that his opponent's sitting in the ring while we're trying to get a cup on him. We got to get this. He has his gloves on. So who's taking off his shorts and putting his cup on
in front of everybody? Or you went to the back?
In the locker room, but yeah. So I had the privilege of putting a cup on. And
how did he fare in that fight?
He won that fight.
That's the best.
Yeah.
You've got the guy. You're like it's like the cup stall. That's the oldest trick in the book. Oh, you forgot your cup. And
then he wins.
And then you go in and then you hustle me. And you beat my butt.
He did really well. That was a good fight. There's there's some. There can be some shady stuff in fighting, and there can be just some accidents like that.
I haven't seen any of the shady stuff. I hear
Yeah.
Ryan Brinkman last week talking about some of the stuff he experienced, and I want to see some of it.
Yeah, well, okay.
I want to see the underbelly.
Yeah, so you'll see venue a lot. Like the venue we're going to, it's the Hamburg Fieldhouse. It's not the Taj Mahal.
Okay.
Like
I heard it's surrounded by a cemetery.
It's surrounded by a cemetery. It's essentially like a high school gymnasium almost in the middle of a cemetery. But that's not the worst. I will leave the name of the place out, but we have fought on cards where from 6 to 9 p.m. it's fighting. So, whatever, boxing or kickboxing. 9 p.m. everyone clears out and it becomes a strip club.
Oh, that's great.
How insane is that?
That's nuts. So you're fighting in a strip club.
Fighting in a strip, but from 6 to 9, there's families in there watching their little 14-year-old box, and then 9 p.m.
Could you imagine getting caught in a clinch and put up against a stripper pole?
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing. You can figure out where they were and everything by watching some of our old videos because you can see the stripper poles.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're talking 14-year-olds fighting at this place. We have them warming up in the stripper dress room.
Don't open the drawers.
How about it?
Don't open the drawers. No, there's stuff in there. That's not sugar.
No.
Just put that down.
No.
Put that down. My goodness.
Yeah. It's all mirrored and everything.
I don't know which it's worse for. Like, does it say less about?
No, it's a strip club that they hold fights in. It's not a place that they have people go and strip in.
Could it be like, I strip, but where? The Johnstown War Memorial.
Exactly.
Like, that's
exactly.
weird.
That's not what it is.
What kind of stripper are you? You don't even make the Tuesday afternoon crew.
Yep. No, that doesn't count.
With War Memorial looks. Like, yeah, I've been to some pretty bad strip clubs, so I know what we're looking for.
Yeah. Well, if you go to Thai Camp this year, Portland is the strip club capital of the world.
My wife watches the podcast, so I want to go to Thai Camp. So what is Oregon again?
No, I don't think they don't have it. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It is. It has a lot of bookstores.
Yes. There's a lot of hipsters.
That is true.
Yeah. How about it?
Vegans and things like that.
Yeah. They hate the hippie drivers. They hate them. Like I was driving with a Portlandian person one year, and he's passing a VW bus just swearing like crazy at this guy because guy's going like 45 and a 70 and just putting along.
They're dressed like a lumberjack. They've got a beard. They've got like a top hat, and they're riding a bike made out of tuba parts. And you're just like, get out of the road.
It's ridiculous.
But that's great that like some of the biggest and best Muay Thai fighters live. Do they live there, or they all just go there?
They just go there. That's where it's been held.
How did Portland, Oregon become Thai Camp?
Good question. I think the stars aligned and they found a place. It was held at Camp Wilkerson. I don't know if it's going to be held there again I know it's not going to be held there again this year, but they had it there for, I don't know how many years, 20 years.
Although, to be honest, and to go back to the strip club capital, I feel like after Thai Camp, if it's anything like the Jarn Chai seminar or even more intense,
you don't want to go to a strip club after.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. No, yeah. Don't touch my legs.
You want to go to bed. Thai Camp is awesome, but it is the hardest camp that I have ever done. And it's not that it's hardest physically. Like, you're going for like 8 hours, but you get up when it's dark. You go to the camp. We stay in a hotel now. We have a guest that's coming in, and then you do it all day, and you pretty much leave whenever you're.
So the guest is coming in. Should we talk about the guest before they come in?
Yeah. Why don't you start talking about him, and I'll help him out.
Okay. So his name is Jared Skibo, and we work out with him at the gym. He goes to CPA MMA. He also works at Shavers Creek Environmental Center, and he is. So there's just his babies out here. I don't know. Oh, sweet God. He is a snake guy.
He's got a fork.
Oh, there's a. So he's got a lot of animals, and he knows a lot about animals, and he's got a title, and he's educated in this, and he has a lot of degrees in this. But I know him as Jared the Snake Guy because he has snakes. And it all started when someone was in California and they went into a sushi place and didn't want to pay the bill and took a 14-foot Burmese python and threw it on the floor, and I lost my mind about it on the air, and I was screaming and yelling about how why did you bring this jungle beast nightmare into my sushi restaurant? Why did you do this? And I'm afraid of snakes. He then came up to me and said, they're really not that scary, and I don't believe him. So
this will be the first time that you have ever actually handled a snake?
I am tense just thinking about it. He has a 10-foot Burmese python.
Here they come.
And snapping turtles and other animals. He has there's the turtle.
Turtles are cool.
The turtle I can handle. So we'll get Skibo in here for a second. Oh, he's going back out. He is.
What's up with the spray?
So that's this is general disinfectant. It's antimicrobial, so anything that you can get in that or moss.
Gotcha.
I am.
You're a little tense right now.
I'm not pleased. Like, I'm not.
That's the big one.
Oh, that looks like something you keep Christmas decorations in. He has a hook. He has a hook, Ryan.
That's not for a venomous snake, is it?
No.
None of them are venomous?
No.
Okay, I'm good then.
You do. Skibo, into the mic, please. You have.
Have a seat.
Yeah, get comfortable. You have. Pull the mic in close.
Yeah, that's the one thing to give you a quick podcast
Be very close to the
breakdown.
mic.
Yeah, you got to be close to the mic.
All right.
And then loud.
I'm a pretty loud guy.
In your home, you have copperheads,
One.
rattlesnake.
No.
One. Like that's like not that many. That's one more than I'll ever. have.
Copperheads are venomous,
Yes.
and you have one in your home.
Yeah, and I have a permit for that. So I have a permit through Fish and Boat Commission. That's a general possession permit. So if you want to touch a venomous snake in Pennsylvania, you have to have the permit for it.
So is that why you were asking about rattlesnakes on our camping trip? That you be able to actually handle them if you wanted.
He can communicate with them like the Slytherins in Harry Potter books.
I can't do that. That would be cool. That would save me a lot of time at home trying to figure out why my snakes are mad. I could handle them if I needed to. Generally, I try not to because
There's no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, you respect them
And I understand what they do. Rattlesnakes are hemotoxic, which means their venom primarily attacks tissues and cells and breaks them down. It's basically saliva on steroids with some
No way.
extra proteins added in that are very destructive. So I like all of my fingers, and I have them all.
What's the other one? There's hemotoxic, and then there's what?
neurotoxic. So neurotoxic attacks your autonomic nervous system.
Your-
So it
oh,
shuts
your
down your
nightmares.
diaphragm and your lungs and your heart. So that's things like cobras, coral snakes, your mambas, things like that are typically.
Wait. Did you just say your mambas?
Your mamba's the
That sounds like the
black mamba. Is that a dance?
I don't know.
I think that's a
I think
sex
that's a
toy.
samba.
The samba is. Yeah, I'm
dance.
thinking of a sex toy.
So
Sorry.
Probably.
So there's a-
black
there-
mamba is a very large snake in Africa. It's not a sex toy.
Oh,
It might
okay.
be a sex toy, but the one I'm talking about is not.
So there's a snake joke there somehow where the one snake said to the other snake, "Who'd you just have sex with?" And he said, "Your mamba." Sorry, there's my
I am,
corny joke. Do you have any corn snakes?
I am so
I don't know. I know a
scared.
guy that breeds them though. I don't have any.
Here's my question, and I don't mean if I end up Skibo sounding condescending, I don't mean to be.
It happens.
But like you have a venomous snake as a pet. Like I have a puppy. Okay, so but I'll pet him and he'll get in bed with me and stuff. Like what do you get out of having the pet other than like it's just in a case waiting for the day that you screw up and let it out and then you're dead to him, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So snakes and reptiles in general, compared to other people's pets like dogs or cats, there's more of an intrinsic value pet.
There you go, a little closer.
Yeah. So that animal has value to me just being what it is. I don't need it to do anything for me for it to have value. So it's like people are like, "Oh, if you can't cuddle with it, it's not a real pet." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't need an animal to cuddle with. I know enough girls." And
There you go.
Like I can call them and be like, "Hey."
And then you're the guy with the snake and they think, hey, whoa, you're bad. You're like, woo, come on over.
Yeah. Or it's like, no, I'm not coming anywhere near your house, which I have family that will not come visit me flat out. They're like, if you want to get lunch, take college, fine. I'm not going anywhere near your house.
So have you always been into snakes, or?
Yeah, since I was a kid.
Gotcha. I had snakes whenever I was younger, and I neglected them, and I feel really bad about it now that I'm an adult.
Yeah.
But
The closest I ever got to owning a snake was I watched Anaconda with Ice Cube, and that movie scared the hell out of me.
well, let's get this rolling. Let's see some snakes.
Let's see some turtles.
You want to start with turtles?
Sure.
Which
Yeah,
is
I'd love
better?
to see the turtle.
We'll ease into it.
Will the snake be
Yeah.
mad if you leave it in the case too long?
No.
All
It
right.
doesn't really do much.
So what
kinda
kind
chill.
of turtles did we bring? Let's just ease me into the reptiles.
So I brought two different snapping turtles. I brought the one we have native to Pennsylvania, which is the common snapping turtle, and then the one that most people are familiar with, the alligator snapping turtle. So that's the one that has the tongue that looks like a worm.
Yeah.
Is that a big one? That's big.
So both of them could take off your finger, though. And you want to start with the turtle.
Well, yeah, because the turtle still can't haunt my nightmares. Maybe this one can. I think of that big turtle thing in the Never-Ending Story.
Oh, yeah.
That's
right.
I just imagine all turtles are wise. So I'm excited. like I don't know if there's a dumb turtle out there.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Do some adjusting.
There you go.
Are we going to be able to get it on camera? Is the question.
Let's see. We'll wait
Oh,
for
he
it.
has a. This.
So that's a snapping turtle? You got to talk
Yeah,
into
so
the...
this is a common snapping turtle, and if I rotate it, you can see the back of the shell.
Huh.
But so these are the ones you see around here.
He could, but you would not want to put your finger in front of his face right now, would you?
No,
Because that would hurt.
it would hurt a lot. So when I
Right
got
now,
this
he looks
turtle-
like me getting out of a pool.
So when I got this turtle, he was 4 years old, and he was about that long shell-wise. And so that was in 2012. So in 4 years, he's over tripled in size. And when I got him, I let him bite my finger, and I'll never do it again.
So when he was teeny, you let him, and
when he
you
was
wouldn't,
tiny.
and you wouldn't let him. You wouldn't want to do it, have it done again. Then
No. So a lot of people think that they can bite your fingers off, and I've had 100,000 people say, "Oh, I've seen them snap a broomstick in half." It's not very likely. The way their mouth is designed, it's not designed to cut things; it's designed to hold things. So it catches things, and then if you look down here, closer to the camera, really big claws.
yeah,
It looks like a stegosaurus body in a shell. Like it looks like. Does it not look prehistoric to you?
it does. It also looks like I've seen some ghetto snapping turtles. That one looks really.
Can I touch? Can I
You
touch
can,
it?
just don't touch your face afterward.
Why?
So you can get salmonella from reptiles, and the risk is low. In 20 plus years of working with reptiles and amphibians, I've never gotten
Yeah,
sick.
but I'm the guy that gets it. I just want to see what its skin feels like.
But I wouldn't put your hand that close to the face there, Jer.
Yeah, so the
I'll
claws
just
are...
touch the shell. He's
the-
cool. I'm
the-
good. You
the
know what?
claws
I'm
are-
good.
That's a long neck.
Yeah.
He's not scared turtle anymore.
No. So he's getting tired
He's
of
been
me.
out of the pool for a little while.
It's now warm. He's very warmed up. Look at him going. He's
I know.
he's like my dog when you hold
Is
him.
it a he?
Yeah.
How do you tell?
I'm scared you're gonna
He's
get
got
your.
a longer tail than a female.
Got it. As you do.
I'm scared you're gonna get bit. I want you to put the
Yeah.
snapping turtle.
What's his
away.
name?
I don't name them because they're wild-ish animals. It's not like...
Chauncey. It is.
So will you someday release him?
No.
No.
No, so that's captive. I'll eventually have to get a much bigger aquarium to put him in.
Gotcha.
He is fired up now though.
Yeah, he gets wound up. So he does farm show every year.
Okay.
With Shavers Creek, so he gets to see all kinds of people, and he does really good for a little bit, and then he decides that he's had enough and he wants to be put down. And it's hard to argue with him. The claws are
Right.
sharp. I've actually been injured more times by the claws of a snapping turtle than I have been bitten by snapping turtles. So they'll
Jeez.
get mad and they just take their claw and go. Shoo.
Wow.
So what they'll do is they'll catch like a big fish or a small mammal or whatever.
And shred it.
Yeah, so the mouth catches it, and that's their fork. And then the hand
There
flips
you go.
like this. They stick and rip. So the head goes this way, the leg goes that way.
That's like throwing
And
an
it just
elbow.
tears things apart.
Wow.
It's vicious.
This is
Is this a big one?
a wise turtle. This turtle knows the secret to life. I swear to God, Ryan, this turtle knows
I
everything.
can't see it.
Ask it a question. Ask it a question, and I'll answer it for you.
Will you rip off Jared's finger if he gets it too close to your face?
When he lifts it up, I want you to ask it a question. Something philosophical.
Okay, talking to the mic.
So this right here, this is an alligator snapping turtle, which significantly larger.
I am a very wise turtle.
And these guys are more common in the Mississippi drainage down south. There's a couple over in Florida, but they're very heavy.
I wouldn't do that. What you just did, I wouldn't do
I
that.
just feel like I want to see it. I want to see the clampers
No,
go.
you don't.
It's impressive. So these guys, in a comparison to a common snapping turtle, so common snapping turtles can get this big or bigger. The record for a common snapping turtle is, I think, over 80 pounds. What do you guys think this one weighs?
40.
40,
60.
probably 25, 30.
He keeps staring at me.
I only said 40 because I think you said do you have another bigger?
No.
No, that's the biggest one.
Yeah. But she's significantly larger.
I'm telling you what. I'm not.
Screw that.
I don't
And if you
want
look
the
at
snake
the,
to come out.
Again,
I'm having trouble with the turtles. I don't want the snakes
no,
to come out.
I'm more scared of the turtles. Look at that thing.
Yeah, that's because the snake's in the case.
It's got a beak. Jared will let us hold the snakes.
Yeah, so these guys,
I see. I wouldn't do that, Jerry.
I want to see him open
No,
his
you
mouth.
don't. He will take your hand
No, 'cause
off.
it's not like he can reach out and grab me.
Yes, he can.
she does have a decent reach.
How far does her? How much neck is she hiding?
actually don't know. I haven't had her stretched
No,
out.
just leave it alone, Jerry.
Don't test fate on that one. So
All
these
right,
guys,
Get
in
your dog
comparison-
brother stick in. Let me hold it out.
but they're really similar structure-wise. I mean, the big ridge shell, long tails, basically armor-plated, big head. The major difference is their hunting tactics. This will find a comfy spot and not move for a week at a time. Just come up to the air, go right back down.
I had a roommate in college that did that.
So she has a tongue that looks like a worm, like a little appendage on her tongue, and she'll like do the worm with her tongue and move it.
And then
And when a fish comes up and tries to eat it, she eats the fish. And she's actually really happy sometimes.
I would I would just feel like at some point you'd wake up and the turtle would be in your face in the bed going, "Jared, we're going home now. It's time. The ship is here." Like I just feel like it's not from this. It could be. I don't know. So you got another. You squirt up after every touch.
Yeah, so the turtles is a bigger risk with salmonella.
should I wash my hands before I handle any of them?
Did you touch anything like chemical-wise today?
Just sushi.
I pooped, but then I washed my hands.
That's fine.
And I ate sushi, but then I pooped after sushi. It was a post sushi poop. 5.5 rolls worth. It was a poo. It was a poochie.
That's impressive.
It was a big poochie. I had to pooch it out.
I'm a huge fan of sushi, by the way.
So what's it gonna take for you
So
to
is
not
your
pull the
turtle,
snake out?
apparently.
What's in that box?
A small snake. Smaller snake.
Jeez Louise.
All right, bring it out. If you put it on your lap and everything, you'll be right in camera. And
I just want to.
what kind of snake is this?
So this is a California king snake.
Oh, cool.
So it's a constrictor like the Burmese python.
So it'll wrap around Jerry's neck.
This isn't pretend. Like this is not hyperbole. This is not an act. I'm not good right now. I'm not
So
good right
to help
now.
kind of like bring your anxiety down a little bit, this is one of the calmest, nicest snakes I've ever had in over 20 years of dealing with reptiles.
It's the most gentle handgun I've ever seen. Put it to your temple, sir.
You're not going to put the snake to your temple.
Okay.
But this snake's very mellow. It has an issue when it sheds. It will keep an eye scale, which is a problem because if it does it enough times, it can actually lose the eye from it.
So it's a
The only
blind
way-
snake?
No, he's fine because I help remove them. But the only way to remove the eye scale is to hold the snake by its head, take a soft wet cloth, and rub backwards on its eye until the scale peels back, and then remove it. And I've done that twice, and the snake just sits there. With
Does
me rubbing
Does this
its
snake
eye.
bite? Can this snake bite?
Any snake can bite. This one, I would be saying I'd be shocked if it did is a pretty significant understatement. I would be blown away if it bit anybody.
Well, guess who would be more blown away?
You?
My pants.
Oh. Let's try to avoid
I
that.
would poop my pants.
That's a new chair too. Careful.
What color is it? I want to be prepared.
Red.
It'll be black and like a cream white yellow.
That is a snake with a tongue. With a tongue.
Pretty snake.
It's
Looks like the ones you get in gift shops.
Yeah, so
The fake
king
ones.
snakes are pretty common and they're easy to replicate, so they do get made in toys a lot. But these
what's
are,
it licking for?
So that is a lot of people will say that snakes smell with their tongue, and it's not true. They smell with their nostrils just like we do. The tongue thing is different. So it's kind of like a scent. It's like an advanced form of smell. So snakes have the forked tongue. When the tongue comes out, it waves through the air, picks up scent particles, pulls them back into its head, and there's two openings in the roof of their mouth where those two prongs go in, and it analyzes the concentration of scent particles on each fork. Whichever side has the highest concentration, that's which way the scent goes. So it's smell with directionality.
So Jerry wanted to check something off his bucket list today, and that's holding a snake.
This would be a great one to start with.
Which start with is end with. It's like
This would be a great one to do that with.
Well, hand it
because
over
I don't want to touch the other one, right?
You can. I'm kind of afraid you're gonna like pass out.
So how am I going to hold this? How am I going to
Just
hold
like
this?
that.
No, but how am I going to hold it though? How am I going to
So-
get it in my hands? How do I get
I'll
it?
hand it to you. So take your hands like this.
How do I get it? But it's looking at me. Does it have to look at me? Does it have to look at me?
It's just gonna look around.
This is like me, like when I lost my virginity. I'm like, don't look at me. I don't. Like, can you just look the other way? Do you have to
Deeply
see it?
personal with these podcasts. I love it.
Do you have to touch it? Do you have to see it?
So, it's a constrictor. Just hold on, calm down. So it's going to hold on to you. It's not constricting. It's just keeping its balance because it's off the ground. This is not their happy place.
What kind of? Well, that's two of us.
So it's equally not comfortable. Maybe.
How do I get it off of me once it's on me?
I'm going to stand right next to you, and as soon as you're not comfortable, I will take the snake away.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put my hands out,
Yep.
and then you're gonna put
The snake on your hands.
a snake in my hand, and then
This is like training wheels. I will not take my hands away until you are comfortable.
Ryan, what do you think of this?
I'm gonna hold the snake for the whole time until.
Skibo, my question for you is: do you find people
After
that are
you're
afraid
done.
of snakes? Do you find it a silly fear? Do you understand it in any way?
No. So I have. I'm sociophobic. So I have public speaking is a no-go. I'll have full-blown anxiety attacks, which I've had.
Well, see, I
You
can
know
do
this
that
is a
all day.
podcast and that you're gonna be on.
Yeah, but they're not here right now.
Don't remind
Okay.
him that.
So like
Yeah, you don't care.
like 3 people, 4
He's
people.
coming
So if
at
there
me
was,
like he's-
gotcha.
So if you
Thousands
had the
and
gym,
thousands of people.
Like here, I would be uncomfortable.
Well, you're doing great. Hand it over. I wanna hold the snake after he's
Right,
done.
Jerry? So you talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking now, and what's the snake's name?
This one actually is named Sam.
Sam,
I got
okay.
the snake from a person who couldn't take care of it anymore.
So Sam the snake, and I want you to prevent this. Oh my Lord, I can't believe this. His head is on my hand. My head is on my hand. His head is on my hand.
You good?
I'm well, but his head is on my hand though.
Here, hold on. You hold that in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get my wrist out of here.
got it. Don't.
Hold on. Officially counts. You've held a snake by yourself. You
You're a
good?
cold-hearted snake. Look into his eyes. Uh-oh. He's been telling lies. He's a lover boy at play. He don't play by rules.
Turn him towards the mic a little bit.
Uh-oh. Girl, you've been a fool. I've always wanted to sing Paul Abdul to a snake. Son of a bee. You are a guy. Oh, he just got a little jerky there. Can he sense my fear coursing through my veins?
I don't think so.
I
You good?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm
Can
gonna
I
get.
take him from him? And then-
I'm getting.
It's the same thing. You're just gonna-
Oh, look at you, Captain. Let me touch the snake. He I feel like I handled that like a man.
I'll be honest with you. You did better than a lot of people I know that are afraid of snakes.
Although here's Ryan, who's just like all snuggled up with it. I feel like
Ryan fights people with sticks.
I'd rather do that.
I haven't held a snake. Here, let me get the mic back on me. I haven't held a snake since I was like 13.
Is it just in my head, Skibo? The snake, and we've got to get the camera back on Ryan here. The snake seems more comfortable with him because he's more comfortable with the snake.
I think he's acting the exact same with you as he is.
I don't think so because my heart's not pounding out of my chest anymore.
If you look, it's actually more active than it was with you. So I think you were more still.
I could do it.
whereas
I could do it
Ryan's
now.
more interactive.
I could do it again.
You want to?
I could do it. I could do it. Oh, he's looking. Oh boy, get him on me though. Hi, friend.
So snakes have no concept of personal space or boundaries, just an FYI, and they probe with their face.
We'll take him now because he's probing my face with his face, and his hand is on my head is on my arm.
Yeah, I
He's
just
good.
want to hold him the whole time.
You really? Put him on like wear him like a hat.
It'd probably fall off.
Okay, that's
So when I jumped up there, that wasn't because I was worried about the snake. I didn't want him to get into the microphone.
And then get stuck to it.
Yeah.
you standing up made me think that I was about to die.
Yeah, and I was trying to I wanted to convey that, but he was getting really close, and it ends up complicated.
Okay. Did it show up on camera when I had him? Like, so there's proof that I held a snake.
There is 100% proof.
So how many snakes do you own?
13.
And do you take them to Shavers Creek? Because you work with Shavers Creek, or do they have their own snakes?
They have their own snakes. So they have rat snakes and a water snake, rattlesnakes, copperheads, and we do shows with those. Every now and then, I'll do a program with mine. I've had like local 4-H groups ask me, like my neighbors whose kids in it. It's like, hey, we had a guy cancel. Do you want to come down and talk about snakes with kids? I'm like, yeah, sure. And actually, last time I did that, I took one of my rat snakes with me, and it bit me while I was talking.
Yikes! Like a black rat snake.
Yeah, so black rat snake's the largest snake in Pennsylvania, and if you've hiked anywhere around here, you've more than likely seen one or more. Large, typically overall black, dark snake, but they can have hints of pattern showing. Because when they start out, it's like when they're born, they hatch out, they look nothing like an adult. They're light gray in the background with dark gray blotches on their back. It's a very distinctly different snake, and it's one of the many that I get pictures of. So I'm a grad student at Penn State, and I'm in the ecosystem science and management major, and the dean of the college will get a picture of a snake, and someone's like, "Do you know anybody who knows what this is?" And it'll go bounce around the professors for a day or two, and then I get an email, and it's like, "Jared, what is this?" It's this. And tell them, and it's usually a young rat snake that someone just has never seen before.
Huh. You've done that multiple times with me. I'm like, what the heck is this?
What is this?
Yeah.
This jungle beast, and why is it out? So have you ever been bitten by a venomous snake?
No, and I would prefer to keep it that way.
Yeah, I can imagine.
As far as our native venomous snakes to Pennsylvania go, there's the timber rattlesnake, which is our largest and deadliest, the copperhead, which is in the middle and is the least deadly of the three. The third one, most people don't know, is the eastern Massasauga rattlesnake, and it's actually a pygmy rattlesnake, and they're only in wet prairies.
I just touched my face.
You're right.
I've been touching my face. Is
That's
that
more for the turtles.
Turtles?
So like with snakes, if you get salmonella from a snake, you're trying way too hard.
Like you're Frenching this
yeah.
snake.
you're using it as a sex toy? That's a problem.
Gross, I wouldn't
And if
go
you're
that
doing
far.
if you're doing anything like that, you have other problems that you should seek immediate help for.
Is there any way, Ryan, that you can make it so the camera's on the snake for a little while? Is it?
Yeah, let me turn off the thing. We ran into the. Now I have to use the mic with my left hand. That was a conversation we had earlier today.
We'll get into that. That's for another
That is
podcast.
definitely for another podcast. Hold on. All right, so now the mic's just gonna, or the camera's just gonna stay on the.
Stay on Sam for a little bit, and then is the you brought a Burmese python?
Yes.
What's the Burmese python's name?
Seether.
Whoa.
Caesar?
Seether.
Seether.
Like the band.
Whoa, he's.
It was all up in the
Seether.
camera.
And
Yeah.
like the Veruca Salt song, right?
You can't fight the Caesar.
Yeah. So a friend and I bought that one from an individual, so he came with the name.
Seether.
Yeah. Which I mean, if you're gonna name a snake, that's
Funny
that's
thing
not
about the band Seether, when I started out in radio for another radio station, they came in and played some songs live in the studio with acoustic guitars. And the one guy said, "I have to go to the bathroom." Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom. And he went to the bathroom, and the bathroom was in the lobby. And it was taking forever, and they had to go back on the air, so I had to go get them as the intern. And I opened up the bathroom, and I was like, "Whoa, is this a bathroom or a hookah lounge?" Like, he didn't have to go poopy, he had to go potty. See what I did there?
well
A lot of
done.
pot.
That's
And I was
great.
like, wow, I mean, you look like you smoke weed all day, but I didn't think you were literally going to do it in our lobby of the radio station.
Most bathrooms have a fan, so I mean, if you're gonna do it somewhere, it's probably,
And now-
probably some birds on the roof of that building that we're seeing all kinds of stuff.
Right now, my life is going full circle. I went from that Seether story to getting eaten by a snake called Seether later today.
This snake only eats rats.
Has that snake ever bit?
This one?
Yeah.
Not in the 4 years that I've had
Then
it.
what-
Has it ever struck at anyone? I mean, it's a very
Has it?
no.
Well, what did you mean the other day when you said it was being temperamental?
He was being more active and moving in an aggressive manner, but it's because he thinks he's going to get food.
I didn't know if you meant like us being moody. You know, he's cutting himself and listening to My Chemical Romance, and I don't know what's wrong with him today. He's emo.
No, he was just more active and a little more aggressive. He's usually very, very, very mellow. And it's just been the increase in temperature as things are getting warmer. Just has him more active, so he's kind of coming out of that winter
I get that way, too.
slump. Yeah.
You are into this, Ryan. Are you considering owning a snake at some point?
You know, I don't want.
What was that?
My water bottle.
Oh God, I thought there was a loose animal.
I don't want to own a snake because I don't feel like I could care for it in the way that it needs to be cared for.
Like
I
you
feel
wouldn't be
like
able to rub his eye off.
Oh no, I'd be fine with that, but I'd want to be able to spend time with it. and I'm sure I would, but I don't think I have the time for.
I'm
a
not.
snake.
I'm not good enough. I can't do it. I wouldn't handle it.
Not your.
Plus,
cup
my
of
mother
tea.
would never visit me again. Like, she can't even. I didn't tell her this was happening, and I won't, because she wouldn't be able to handle it. Like, I've just been raised that snakes are very scary
Can I?
things.
This is Seether or that's Seether?
That's
That's
Sam.
This is Sam. Can I hand Sam to Brooke?
Yeah.
Miss Brooke holding Sam. Boy, everybody's making me look like a total sis. They're just holding it. Everything's good.
So if I don't know if this will make you feel better or not. When I started college, I started at Penn State Du Bois, which was a small, like 800 student campus in Du Bois, PA. And I brought in one of my other snakes, which is a milk snake, so related to the king snake. Is he getting too active?
He's like, oh, he's all over her. He's like, he's just like inside her sweatshirt already.
So he will do that.
Oh, he's going around her neck, Ryan. It's your fiance. Save her.
I'm just sitting here watching it happen.
Yeah, like I said, they have no concept of personal space. But I had one of my snakes with me, and at the time, the basketball team were kind of, if I had to say what like a typical college athlete attitude is, they were big guys, were strong, they were drinking all the time, and they were tough guys. And they talk about all the fights they got in. And I had a snake with me, and they wouldn't even stay in the same building I was in. Like, they got up and they're like, no, not doing this. They'd get up, they'd run. I mean, it's
Got to set the building on fire now.
yeah, it's
Got to burn the building down. He
Brooke's
is.
having fun.
I mean, he is wrapped around her elbow now.
So let's see Seether.
All right, that's more of a process.
Is it?
Can they be out together? Will they get along? Like, is it like, you know,
It shouldn't be an issue.
like my dog's bad with other dogs? Do you have snakes that are bad with other snakes?
No, not really.
Do you think though that Seether would ever consider eating Sam?
Probably not.
No.
So what I have the hook for,
Do we have the
Jerry,
cameras back to everybody?
Yes. Yeah. So
is
it'll switch.
it's just when he comes out of a thing, a box, he can be a little aggressive, and it's just to say, hey, you're not getting food, you're getting picked up.
You just have the hook, man. I'm going to be here with my heart attack. Holy Jesus. I'm not touching Seether. Bigger than you expected, Ryan.
No, that's about right. I said it was going to be about this thick, and that's about right.
Get in there. Get in there, Skibo. You're
Breaking
good.
things. So it's like a big scaly puppy.
Nice.
Can you see him on the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I talk, you can.
That's, I don't want to burst your bubble, but that's not a thing like a puppy.
In demeanor, he's kind of like a puppy.
Maybe. I mean,
I made it so it's just staying on Seether now.
yeah, do that.
Go investigate.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Like, so what do you...
So
I
let's
feel
talk,
like we're really stepping it up
let's
with the
talk about
podcasts.
this. Where did your fear from snakes come from? Is it lack of understanding of them?
It's got to be that. My mother is just like
Your mother's
balls
scared
out, afraid of them, and I think it's just you're from the minute you're a kid, like in Sunday school. Snakes are associated with evil and bad and scary, and they don't have legs, and they don't. I mean, does he look fun to you? I mean,
I
some
think he
people.
looks pretty cool.
I don't know. I guess because he can bite you, but my dog could bite you too. I don't know why. I don't know why.
So growing up, you didn't have like garter snakes around that you would pick up, and
No, not really. And that wouldn't really scare me. If I felt like I could handle it, I wouldn't be so worried about it or afraid in any way. But I know that I could. If this snake decided like, F you, that's why.
well, here's the thing though.
I'm dead.
Jared could put the majority of him on your lap and hold the head. Would that make you feel better? That would be fine, right?
Right. I think so.
I'm the enabler here.
You want me to hold? Well, this is better than what you wanted to do today. You wanted to hit me with a cattle prod.
We can do that as well.
We're not going to do that. So, what do you think about me holding this,
I mean,
Jared? How do you
it's
feel
basically
about
just
it?
heavy.
I can handle that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
And,
happens to me.
I will stay with his head.
About 4 or 5 times a day I deal with that. So.
I know. Oh, wiener joke. We'll be here all week.
You ready?
Where does he pee and poop?
Back here.
Well, like I've always wondered, like where does it?
You want to know something else that's cool? That a little
Where's
fact.
his butthole? Does he have a butthole?
So this is what's called a cloaca. So similar to like a bird, and it's covered by a scale, which is right.
Oh, I gotcha.
There.
Don't aggravate him. If you were aggravating my butthole, I'd
So,
be mad
and
too.
here's another thing that I know. I don't know if this snake does, but some of them have a little talon,
Yeah. So this guy actually has spurs.
spurs,
Yeah. So it's just vestigial remnants of
when they had
yeah,
legs.
when they had legs. So that's all that's left. Is
Jerry's ready.
You feeling it?
Miss Brooke, when I'm holding him, and it won't be for long, could I have a photo? Could you get a photo of this? I want to document this.
You ready?
I guess. I mean, I guess. I feel like a bit of a sissy here because you guys are just handling it, but this is a fear and a half for me. Holy balls.
Ready?
Yeah. Here's a natural. Here, I just do I hold his? I don't know where his throat is under his neck or anything.
That's like down to there.
He's like, wow, every little piece of him is a muscle. Like if he feels so super strong. Get his face away from my hand though. like I don't love that at all.
Not feeling that.
I don't know, or his face away from my junk. Okay, so what do you think, Ryan? Like, do you have respect for me now? Am I a man?
Yeah. Are you over your fear?
I'd say you're doing pretty good.
I'm doing fine. Like I'm not over. I wouldn't say I'm over it. Like if Jared wasn't here right now, I wouldn't be happy. But it's not debilitating. I see that he's kind of scaling on my hand there. Is he about to?
So he had a not great shed last time, and it didn't come off clean.
He's aiming straight at my stuff.
So the next time he sheds, I'll make sure the conditions in his enclosure
Okay.
are better, and he'll have a better shed.
I'm more comfortable holding him than I was Sam.
Really?
To be honest, I don't have an explanation for it.
He's not moving as much.
So if you look,
Right.
which is kind of, and I'll show the camera later. If you look at the front of his face, there's these little like openings that aren't his nostril. They're heat pits, so you can see in infrared.
So if you turn the lights out, he's still
Yeah,
a killer.
Pitch black, you can still see us.
Coming by my face now, coming by my neck. I can. Ooh, yeah. Why don't you just go ahead and see us either? It's been real.
Bonded.
I think he pooped on my hand.
I think you're all right.
Okay. That wasn't his Caligula. What's that thing called?
Calligraphy.
What's his butt called again?
Cloaca.
Cloaca. Got it.
That's gonna be the name of my first child. You
Cloaca. That's good. All right.
remember Robin Hood, Men in Tights?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Remember Latrine?
Yeah.
I feel like her sister's name is Cloaca.
What's up, Caesar is coming at me. Come at me, bro. I will teep him right in the face. Man.
That would be annoying. Like, have you run into anybody that just really can't control themselves whenever like they're near a snake and they literally want to push it away or hit it?
Oh yeah, people would just.
Oh, that would be so
That's
annoying.
abusive. There's one thing to joke about it, but like you've never seen anyone try to attack your snake or anything.
No, which would be a bad idea. I mean, I'm not the baddest guy on the planet, but I'm not weak or slow by any means.
Well, if it's like if someone hit your puppy,
Yeah.
you're going. They're going to the hospital now.
Can I hold Seether?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's spread the love. My wife just called me. I didn't answer. I feel like she could sense that I was in danger. She could tell. This is you're holding it like a guitar. Oh. So let's make sure Ryan's on camera here.
I don't know that I am.
I don't know how to make it so you are. I could do this. This is what I'll do. We'll do that maybe. I just feel like we want to document what's happening here. With the my goodness gracious.
I think his cave before and like set up on the couch and was hanging out. I don't know anymore. It's like a cat.
How does this cat
they were programmed to shut off instantly when they got knocked over, I would worry about it, but they aren't. So if she gets in and knocks right over, it can be potentially problematic.
There we go. Good times.
All right, I feel like it's time to put the jungle beasts back away and wrap her up, maybe.
Yeah.
Can I see Sam again one more time? Maybe. No, you know what? He's good. Sam's good. Brooke has Sam, and I don't. Sam likes Brooke a lot. Like, you can't see it on camera, but the minute she got him, he crawled into her sweatshirt and around her throat.
I was more scared of the ginormous turtle.
The turtle was scary.
Yeah.
Scarier than I had expected.
The most scared I was you putting your hand in front of it.
Just
Because I've seen what they can do. I feel like I've seen a snapping turtle where we were trying to move like its back hind and its head wrapped around and tried to.
Yeah, so they can snap back over their own shell, but it's deceptive. Especially if you're like not holding onto it when it does it. They can only reach maybe to the back of their front leg.
Huh.
But when they throw their head back there, it looks like
Oh
it's
my
coming all the
God.
way around. So to relate this into fight terms, turtles telegraph a lot. So when they strike, there's a lead into it. They kind of lead.
Oh, they back
and
out.
then they go.
Huh.
So with snapping turtles, I'm much more comfortable working with a snapping turtle than a snake. Snakes will bite you out of nowhere.
Huh.
If you're messing
Does
with
that make you feel great?
yeah, I'm glad I know
if you're
this
messing with
now.
them, if you're messing with them, like I've been handling snakes and they just decide that they've had enough and bite you.
Huh.
What's messing with them to them? Just
So if like you corner it, it's like messing with anything. If you corner it or you're harassing it or poking at it or picking it up, you know, I don't think I've ever been just walking and had a snake try to bite me. And I've probably caught, I don't know, 10,000 snakes.
my fear is walking through the woods and not realizing I've come across a snake until it's too late, and I hear the rattle, and
you
I'm like,
step
well, now
on it.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
I've had it to where, in fact, it's the place on the camping trip, Jared, that I wouldn't mind taking you. There's a little tree, it's almost like a bonsai tree,
Oh, that's cool.
on the top of this like rock outcropping. I got there with my old dog. I don't know if Brooke has ever heard this story, and I'm looking over this outlook over all these mountains, and it's beautiful, and my dog just starts nosing at this tree, and I look down, and there's a copperhead and a rattlesnake in the tree,
Oh, jeez.
like just straight up in it. I'm like, holy crap!
It's like, come here.
It's time to chop
Yeah.
the tree down and set it on fire.
Well, that whole mountain needs to be set on fire if that's.
Yeah,
And then
if
you
it-
go on your
Yeah,
camping trips there?
That's your
Yeah,
policy.
but that's up at the top of the mountain, and when we're down near the creek bed, and you can probably talk more on this. That doesn't seem like there's any rattlesnakes or copperheads down near the stream. I don't know.
So rattlesnakes, and there's a big misconception when people think that copperheads are water snakes, and that's because they see water snakes
And they think
they're
it's a
copperheads.
copperhead.
A copperhead is an upland rocky species, just like a rattlesnake. They prefer rock outcroppings, higher up in elevation. They don't mind being near water because just everything needs water,
Sure.
but they aren't going to live directly at an interface between the land and the water. It's not where they go. But water snakes, the issue that comes up with them is their defensive strategy is to puff up and flatten out, and it makes them look bigger. And they're not intentionally imitating a venomous snake. They're just trying to look bigger and like a hassle. Predators in nature, when they encounter a prey item, they do some quick math in their head. Say, how much energy do I have to expend in order to get the energy of that food item? And if it doesn't balance out, if it's not worth it, they don't do it. That's why you're supposed to act big and scary when there's a bear. The bear just goes, well,
Sure.
it's not worth it.
Not
I'm
worth
not
it.
going to do that.
Is that true?
Yeah.
If Leonardo DiCaprio had done that in The Revenant, he would have avoided a lot of problems.
Potentially. I haven't watched The Revenant yet.
It's like-
oh my god.
Oh,
I
it's
heard
like
it's great.
Passion of the Christ in the Forest.
It's
dude.
one of the best movies
brutal.
in the world. Well, where he ran into problem is Leo got in between a cub and its mama.
Oh, yeah, nothing works there. You could have a howitzer or a tank behind you, and you're still going to lose that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a whole different. That's a variable that you. This is the little X factor that's going to cause major problems because female bears will fight male bears to the death
to the death.
to protect a cub. Like it's not,
So all the noise in the world, you're not going to
No.
save yourself.
and that's where a lot of where bear attacks happen, where it isn't some form of food related issue where like the bear man or bear guy, whatever his name was.
Bear Grylls.
No, the guy who used to the guy that used to hang out with grizzly bears in Alaska. Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah,
And then
he
ended
got
up
him
getting
and-
eaten.
Him and his fiance got eaten.
Yeah, well, they're not toys. They're not domestic animals.
Man, that's
don't play with them.
that is like a podcast and a half too, because like they have audio of them getting eaten.
Yeah, like it's
And it was released. I
horrifying.
heard.
No, it wasn't released.
The end
They-
of it wasn't released, but you could hear the beginning. of it.
Yeah, they have the documentary on it, but yeah, they've never released it apparently.
Yeah, and I don't really think they need.
You don't
to.
need to.
Who wants to
No.
listen to someone
No.
getting eaten by a bear?
Oh my god.
I don't.
Although
I
you
don't
know,
want to think about something.
You know what they did show, which was just my god, it was
on the
so
bright side.
heartbreaking. Listen to this. This was heartbreaking.
he died feeding the bears. He loves
He
bears.
loved what he did. I think they showed it to his mom or somebody, or they let her listen to it and they videotaped her response. That was part of that documentary. And like, oh my God, is that heartbreaking? She's listening to her
Why would they do that? That's like
because she wanted. She said something like, "I've never listened to this until now," and then she wanted to hear it.
and they wanted to videotape her
don't know why
reaction
you'd wanna
though.
hear
Yeah, it was part of the documentary. Oh,
I did that to a
swallowed.
friend once. I showed him 2 Girls, 1 Cup, and I videotaped
Perfect
his
example.
and I videotaped his reaction. And
Oh.
I bet his reaction to that was the same as hers to her son getting eaten by a bear. You ever see that video? 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
I have seen it.
Skibo.
Nope.
You don't
I
need
heard.
to.
I heard what it's about. I'm like, I don't need to watch it.
You don't
Never.
need to.
It
really
is.
don't.
It's. I'm telling you, it's a very descriptive title. I mean, it's apt. It's aptly named. There were 2 girls and a cup in the. Anyway, snakes.
Yes. Oh,
Snakes.
and bears. I know.
Snakes and bears. Let's talk about things that terrify most of the people in the world: snakes and bears.
Yeah, I dig bears. I dig all of the PA wildlife like
Oh, yeah.
bobcats and
No, bobcats are awesome.
yeah, you know the whole like
I like terriers.
do you the whole there's no mountain lions in PA discussion is always interesting. I'm sure you're on the side of there's none, right?
So it's kind of the same attitude I have towards Bigfoot.
Who knows?
Yeah. Is it possible? Sure. Is it likely? No. Does anybody have any definitive proof? Absolutely not. When you show me an actual picture that isn't on your cell phone from your grandfather's uncle's best friend Chet, who lives in whatever part
Sure.
of PA, and it's always the same photo every year.
Yeah, how about it? So I have a secondhand account from my father, which I believe entirely.
Yeah.
He went up. This is up in the Renova, Keating, Carthus area.
Okay.
We have a camp up there in Westport, and he was up there in archery season, and he was driving on a back road that leads to our camp. And a deer goes across the road, and he says, "Why in the world is this deer so low to the ground, and why does it have a long tail?" And he said, "There's no other way. There's nothing else it could have been other than what happened."
What did he do? Did he poop on you?
But yeah, he said there's nothing else it could have been other than a mountain lion. And what I've heard is that maybe a mountain lion that was released or was tagged or was crossing through, but apparently we don't have enough.
Yeah, we don't have enough continuous space for them to live in currently.
And breed, right? That's the
Yeah,
big thing.
Their home ranges are enormous, like 20 square mile home range.
Wow.
Like,
And that's
huge
theirs.
area. Yeah, and so if a male's protecting a territory, he patrols that continuously.
Wow.
So he does multiple places to sleep, but he monitors that, and if anybody else comes in, let's go. But so a huge home range like that. So if they start as their populations increase, because we have better conservation of animals now, they move out. We could get ones wandering through. It's not out of the question.
Do you think I heard a statistic, and I'm sure it would be very easy to find out what it actually is, but that there's a road every 2 miles in any direction wherever you are in PA. Do you think roads have a little bit to do with it too? Like a cat couldn't cross the road, so you know what I mean, like safely.
That's another thing is there are so many roads in PA, and there's so many hunters in PA. I think there's over 1 million hunters in PA. I know guys who have 15, 16 plus trail cameras in the woods. all
Never
the time,
see
taking
'em.
Pictures. Never comes up. I know people who've done bait cams. So they go out and get like 15 carcasses of roadkill deer, and they pile them up, and they put cameras on them. And they use them to survey for golden eagles. So they put them up on the ridge tops in these isolated forests where people don't usually go, and they get coyotes and bobcats and all the stuff that you see maybe if you're lucky once or twice a year. And if there were mountain lions in these areas, and this is like the Allegheny National Forest, it's the big tracts
Sure.
that we have around here. If they were gonna be somewhere, that's where they would be. Nothing ever.
Yeah.
So then we can say they're not there.
Yeah, they're not living and breeding in PA.
Now Bigfoot, on the other hand,
Oh my god! Have you watched Finding Bigfoot?
Finding Bigfoot's pretty bad.
My father loves that show,
Oh.
and not because he actually believes in Bigfoot, and not because he enjoys watching them. He enjoys watching that show with me.
So he can.
I'm a wildlife major, and I have very low tolerance for just blatant stupidity.
Yeah.
I get. It's like
So you don't go squatching.
no. It's and like I listen to those people talk, and it hurts.
Harry and the Hendersons is on Netflix now, though.
That's probably a more accurate depiction of Bigfoot than that show.
John Lithgow's the best.
That's right.
That's
That
good.
is such a good movie. Such a good movie. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I think that's got to be it. I've tackled a fear. We're gonna do.
Good
we're
job.
That's awesome.
What's the next thing on the bucket list?
That's
Oh,
not-
I know what it is.
It's not the cattle prod. Don't get it out.
The cattle.
We're not doing it.
I don't really want to play the cattle prod.
I don't. Look,
Oh, taser.
it's a cattle
That's a
prod.
cattle prod.
Look at this thing,
That gets-
Skibo.
that's
So
way
next week, we're gonna let Jerry
No, we're not.
interact with the hot shot.
Ugh.
No, we're not.
What's going on? Yeah,
It,
the
it looks
hot
like
shot.
something
Listen,
you plug into a
listen.
skillet.
Shh. You ready for this?
Okay, it sounds like a clown car horn. But
That's
you
about what it feels like.
tell the truth. You told me
Shot out of a cannon.
true or false. You said that you were shocked by one of those years ago, and you can still feel where it hit you.
Brooke, I said I want to do a cattle prod fight in a gathering, and someone said, "Okay, I'll do it with you." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to cattle prod anybody or anything without knowing what it feels like first." So I had her cattle prod me in the back of the right calf, and I can still feel it.
Yeah, I don't. No, I'm good.
Next week, it's not bad. It doesn't hurt anymore. I have that memory of where it was.
Oh, okay.
Well, until next time.
Forever burned into his leg.
Skibo, you can have the honor. Say good night, podcast.
Good night, podcast.
Yeah, awesome. Great having you.
Yeah, thanks.